Everybody ain't human. I can't stress this enough. I talk about this all the time. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. Not too many people gonna believe you, but let's see what this guy got to say. Read the title. Everyone not human. I'm finna do a reaction video to this. Let's get it.
At first, I didn't want to believe that everybody wasn't human. At first, I thought all the movies I used to watch, things I would see in person, was not true. And when you grow up in a church that's religious or your family's religious, you tend to believe what they believe. You've been taught what they've been taught. And this is a video response back to you, Mr. Oman. I can relate to you in your email because that's me in that email. Let me tell you something, big brother. This is another reason why I'm so patient with people. I'm very patient because I meet them where they are.
Meet them where they are. What you mean by
Just
that?
like somebody had to meet me where I was at, lost.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't want to accept what real folks is telling you that's spiritual,
It's real talk.
then I don't know what else to tell you. But I understand how it's so frustrating. Because pretty much all our life we was lied to.
Yeah, we were lied to.
And D-Way,
Lied about
shout out to my
everything,
brother,
man.
D-Way made some excellent points on the phone the other day about the older generation.
Why this nigga phone blowing up, man?
Got a pile of clothes you never wear anymore?
These ads.
Turn them into cash with Vinted. Snap a photo.
Sorry, brother, gotta skip to that. Gotta continue the video.
And the stubbornness, the 70s and up, but not all, But how, as the children, those who are 40s and 50s and some going in their 60s, as our mothers are in their 70s, some mothers in their 80s, some even 90s. And we see the difference. We see how religion took hold of a lot of our older generation, and that's what they handed down to us. And that's why history just repeats itself. But when I started looking at cloning, first of all, the Holy Spirit had to get me away from the church building. It had to get me away from all the false teaching, and it really had to get me away from all them hooping and hollering preachers and revivals and musicals and pastoring wives anniversaries, things that just, people look forward to but wasn't looking forward to the truth. And
Let me tell you one thing. What he's trying to explain to you is the church is not a building. The church is the people. Somewhat like a gang, but a good gang, like the Blood and Crips church. Okay, if that's the case, why ain't make a building of the Crip building or the Blood building? But look, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with going to church and serving God together. There's nothing wrong with going to the building. We still call it a church. But the church is the people. The church is you.
tradition is what really was getting me. That's why even in the when I decided to go back in the building, and I gave the building 15 years of my life, 15 years of hard dedication. I said after that, I wasn't gonna go back in the building, and then the Most High laid it on my heart to go to another building for a little while, just a little season. And then he brought me out of that building. And that's why I'm no longer at a building. And even when I was in the building, it took everything in me, but I had to stay obedient. But I'm gonna tell you something, those who know this, it's tough dealing with church folks. It's tough dealing with family members. It's tough, period. It's tough dealing with your own self. And better yet, alone trying to deal with other folks. It's hard to live at peace with a lot of people. But staying on my assignment
Had to take my thumbnail,
and
my
being
bad.
obedient as the Most High opened my eyes up to more and more things. And see, it's only a few people that's gonna listen. And I mean a few. You may not even get a few. Because when you start talking about chopping down a religion, and you start talking about things like Revelation, the days of Noah, Genesis 6, you start talking about the Apocrypha, you lose them. And you lose them fast. Because they're not gonna accept it, the majority of them. So I'm using myself in this video because when I found out everybody ain't human, man, it blew me away. When I found out cloning was real, as they cloned that sheep back in the day. What was it, Dolly the sheep? when they clone that shit, when I would see cloning in movies, when I would see a lot of these things that they was already showing us, I thought they was just movies.
Right.
I never connected the dots to know that, hey man, we living right here, and this stuff is right in front of us, but spiritually we don't see it because here's the problem, and I was brought up in the Baptist church too. They don't teach you the spiritual realm. Uh-oh. And if you don't know the spiritual realm, I don't get it, man. Well, I do get it because Satan got a whole lot of church buildings. Let me stop saying I don't get it. I'm trying to stop saying it because I get it now.
Real
But
talk.
Satan got so many pastors on his team, it's ridiculous. And when you only
Me and you got to say, buddy, but let's get it.
concerned about tithing and offering and the building, putting all the emphasis on the building, people can sit in them buildings and be lost for a long time. And if I'd had known what I know now back then, yes, I believe my walk would have been totally different because I didn't want to accept the things I was taught. And when I found out about the holidays, oh man, I was angry. And the first thing that came to my mind is why they never talked about the Passover. Why they kept us blinded? Why did they say we was Gentiles? Why did they say we wasn't really in the Bible? It was so many questions I had that made me frustrated. So I can understand where you are now. And it will make you mad because you'll be like, oh man, Mama and them lied to me, Daddy and them lied to me, Papa and them lied to me. But you gotta realize Papa and whoever name you called them out, they was only doing what they was taught. And some of them right now, they have woke up. But a lot of them that's still alive, they reject that knowledge, they reject that wisdom.
Yep.
They only stuck with the things that they was brought up on and what they was taught. So when you try to bring something new to the table that they ain't never heard before, of course they gonna say, boy, you crazy. But you gotta realize these type of conversations ain't for everybody. They not. And it's only a few again that's gonna accept it. And it's just, I'm talking about myself because you got me thinking hard, man, on
Since I got a spiritual awakening, I don't have friends no more. Not like that. I only have friends on the count of hand, probably like 3. Real talk.
another reason why I'm so patient. People be saying, I don't think JT patient, man. If I wasn't patient, you wouldn't even see me come on here no more. If I wasn't patient, I wouldn't even do so many videos trying to warn people and wake people up. I am very patient, but it took me a while to get patient. I had to let go of that anger and frustration about all the lies I was taught about the Bible. And then once I started reading, when you start getting to the stuff that nobody want to talk about at church, it's so fascinating.
Tom Ogle drove 200 miles on only 2 gallons of gasoline.
And you be like, you'll start understanding how the spiritual realm operate, because this is why you've been hearing me say for so long that everything happens in the spiritual realm first,
yeah,
and then it happens in the physical.
Manifest itself.
You see what I'm saying?
To the physical.
And that's very important to understand. You got preachers out here that won't even talk about demons. They won't even talk about the devil. They just, man, taking up money, talking about the same stuff.
That's all people care about. That's why I be careful with YouTube. I wanted to do preaching videos, but I didn't want to do it for money. So I'd rather do it in other videos. You know, I don't want to make it seem like I just want to do it for money, because YouTube is all about money, if you ask me. If people weren't making money, they wouldn't be making videos. Makes sense?
After year. So I just wanted to share that with you. I didn't want to accept it at first either, that everybody wasn't human. But when I really started breaking down, getting into Genesis 6, and really Enoch 1, 2, and 3, I said, man, I started looking at people different in the world. Them look, all that stuff they talking about now about shapeshifters and all that, you'll see it spiritually. You'll see that this person ain't human. You'll see old girl messing with a narcissist that's really a shapeshifter. You'll start seeing all kind of stuff. You'll start seeing their eyes. They'll start recognizing you, recognizing them, and they'll move around. It's so much stuff that you'll start seeing and what happened that won't make sense to the average person when you tell them. That's why you can only talk to certain people about it. Other folks gonna think, man, you crazy. Bro, you better quit watching so many movies.
Most of these people are demon possessed. I'm put it like that. And a lot of celebrities ain't real. They fallen angels, but a lot of fallen angels be possessing these people, and they all look the same. They all got the same eyes.
Man, what are you talking about, man? Everybody ain't human. Bro, where you getting this stuff from? Man, have you been looking at such and such again? And then you start getting deep and deep in that word, and you realize in that old covenant what was going on, it blow your mind. That's why I've been talking about the cannibalism and the child sacrifice and how they ate their own children and tried to survive because of starvation in the land and what the Most High allowed to happen. Most people just don't want to. Here go the problem as I close again. Most people will skip over the Old Testament, saying it's over and done with, and that blocks out that blocks out everything. Because once again, what you need to know is right there. But the question is, will you accept it? Love y'all. Shalom.
Big. Thank y'all for watching, man. Let me know what y'all think below, dog.